Hi guys, got another update video for you. In this video I'm going to do another part build for my 3D printer, which is the Anet A8, and this is a cover build. So I printed this out last night. This is going to be for the power supply, which is around this side. Yeah, it goes like that. I'm printing on glass, which is new, working really good. Printed this out last night and I made a bit of a mess up with it. I forgot to push the old filament thread black in, and because I didn't push it through all the way, when I started printing I was left with some of the black filament in there. What an idiot I am, but anyway, you learn by mistakes. What I'm going to do to correct it, I'm going to get a black Sharpie and put some lines in to make it look like a hazard. Orange and black. Do that, and that'll make it look like a chevron type of thing. So anyway, it's turned out really nice. So this is going to go on now. So got that. Tools I'm going to use are, just set the camera up so you can see. I've got some strippers, white strippers, a couple of screwdrivers. I'm going to try this portable soldering iron out, which is only, I don't know what the wattage is, I think something like 8 watt or something. There's another video on this and I'll leave the link somewhere, probably up here somewhere, but it just goes off a USB, and I'm going to use that battery bank, here to power it. If I just put it down, so I'm going to use this battery bank to power it and see how that works. So I need that soldering iron, there's the USB cable for it, some side cutters, tweezers, pliers, pot and solder, need that, some flux, which make my own with the hard resin, works really good. There's a switch I'm using, that fits in, got this off eBay, come from Hong Kong, about £1. I will make them for £1, I don't know. There's a built-in fuse as well, and I've just marked up, obviously positive, switch, earth and neutral. So that's that, and that just fits into that cutaway nicely. And I'm going to try and tidy up some wires. I've got another build coming for a cover for this to make this tidy, and I'm going to blank off all these grills so the air, and I'll leave a little bit at the bottom, so this will be like blank, so the air gets drawn in at the bottom and expelled at the top, but I'll make a cover for that. So that's it guys. So what I'm going to do next is cut this wire and then start joining it up, and I'm going to solder these on rather than just using terminals. I'll just position the camera so we know where we're at. It's a bit awkward up here, so it should be okay. I think you can see everything there. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just clean that. I'm going to cut this mains cable. If it's disconnected, just check. Yeah, it's disconnected. Personally, I just cut it now. I'm going to cut it with a little bit of slack, so I've got somewhere to manoeuvre, somewhere about there, with these side cutters. Just cut that off, don't need the other end anymore. Soldering iron just out the road there, because I don't need that yet. And then what I'm going to do is strip this back, and then what we're going to do is solder it onto here, pop it in, and then that's pretty much it really. So I'm going to take these, see if these strip it. If they don't, see how it goes. Okay, so I've just nicked the end a little bit and then just pop this off. As you can see, just bend it back and forward and it should just crack. There you go. Pop that off. In. And then what we're going to do is just, don't need a massive amount of space. I can always, because there's a short length on there, I can always slide this back a bit. Oops, crap, as that goes over. So I've slid that back a little bit just so I've got myself a bit more space on here. Now I want to strip these. Don't know how you do it, as long as you're a bit longer than that. No, it should be okay, it should be fine. Just do that, these strippers are quite good. go. That's that done. Don't really need them no more for the time being. Just twist the ends so they don't fray. Then we're going to tin these. So what I want to do now is pop the soldering iron on. Where you can see the battery pack. Just turn it on. And that should, there you go, start heating up. Pop that down there, pop that down there, ready. Don't need the side cutters, put them on the floor. I've got this thing which I can just use to hold them while I tin them. Bit of solder, bit of flux, and ready to go. What I normally do is just get the wire and just put a bit of flux on the edge of the wire. I can't really get it at the bottom, so I'll have to do it with a solder, or you could just do it by dipping the solder in and just putting a little bit on each one. Okay, let's see if it's warmed up. Yes, I think you're supposed to take that off first before you, anyhow, yeah, it's up to temperature. You've got to keep your finger on this little button to keep it activated. So what we're going to do is dip it in, get a bit of flux on there, just tin it. Done. See that okay? Yeah. Next one. Bit of flux, just tin it. It's a pretty good soldering iron, really handy. Definitely glad I bought this thing because my other soldering iron's actually fixed to my bench. Done. Take your finger off, and after so many seconds that goes out, so I'm just going to leave that there. Close that for the time being. Just use them as a start in there. Done. So that's that done. If you are doing a lot of soldering, make yourself something up, just a bar or something. This is just a cheap stand. It just works really good. I can turn it sideways and down. A few cable ties. Okay. What we're going to do now is get ready to solder this on. So I've marked it up. So that's positive, negative, positive, negative, and earth. Pretty simple. Now what I'm going to do is set it through, but I'm going to tin this as well. So see how it's gone off? Put it back on again just by putting your finger on. And we'll go and do that again. Solder, flux. Makes a big difference. Just drop that on the end. That's that one done. I didn't really expect this soldering iron to actually do this. But I tell you something, it's having no problem at all. It's melting these heavier contacts. Just roll it around. Done. Trying to breathe in the fumes. Oh, sorry, got to do the little switch as well. Forgot about that. This will be a bit more awkward. Let's just see if I can't put it in here somehow. It's awkward to hold. Maybe like that. Should be alright. It's also quite nice this because you can clean the end by just run it around there a bit. Yeah, you can Don't want too much on because you've got to thread the I forgot to push the button and it's gone cold on me, which is a safety device, which I quite like that. So you've got to make sure that you keep your finger on there to activate. There you go, it's activated. So now we don't need this, don't need that. We'll do the earth first from the out. See, I've blocked that all up. See, oh no, I haven't. So we pop that through from the inside to the out, just like that, and then kink it a little bit, and then all you have to do now is smelt it in place with a bit of solder. So just load up this again. You only need a tiny amount of flux on the end, it's just like liquid, but it makes a big difference. There you go, there's the earth, done. And then we've got the neutral, which I'll feed from the top down. And then this is where sometimes it's a good idea to have some pliers to just bend it into position because I've already soldered it. Again, that's gone off again, so it cools down really quick to save you power. I'll just come on again there. And then it might be a good idea to just bend it upwards, nip it together like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Good. Finger back onto the switch. Oh, you know what I've done wrong, don't you? Doesn't matter, I can I've soldered it on, I haven't put it through there first. Classic mistake. What I have to do is just take the 3 screws out. I'm not really bothered. Not the end of the world. I'm not desoldering it just for that. Nice blob of solder and let it all melt into the contact. Oh yeah. One thing to note, give it a little blow before you move it because that wasn't up there. That's better. Okay, for some reason that's not taken. Notice how the end's all mucky. I need to go and get a cleaner to do that. Just 2 seconds. Just turn the video off. Okay. Right guys, I've got my little solder pad there so I can give it a clean. And look at the difference. So this is just a scouring pad off the kitchen. If you use a new one, it makes a massive difference. And that's why it wasn't sticking. So we'll load this up again. And then we'll try it again. Make sure that's switched on. It's better done. Happy with that. And then the earth is going to be the last one. Sorry, the live is going to be the last one. Which is going to go to there. Through there, wrap it around a bit, use your pliers if you need, but bend it quite easy. That's why I put a tiny bit of solder on, it stays in place when you bend it. So I found it's better to do that. Bit of flux, make sure that's turned. Come on. There you go, it's turned on. I'm just heating the wire up and the contact as I'm feeding the solder in. I'm waiting for the magic part where it actually all melts together. Especially the main contact, that's the thickest part. Just move the wire a bit. There you go. Done. Okay. I can just use the pincers if I want to nip these edges off, but I'm happy with that. If you want to put some glue on or tape, it's up to you. once that's in the box, there's plenty of gap there, should be no problem. But if you want to put some glue on, clean the tip again. See how mucky the tip is? Just jab it in. Nice and clean again. Always leave a bit of solder on when you turn it off. Stops the oxidization as well, so leave that on. And then that should go off in a moment. In fact, I'll just leave it on there. Okay, so that's that bit done. What I'm going to do next is look for a bit of wire. In fact, I'll use the cable off the other wire to go from here, yeah. Okay, right, so guys, that's all done now. Final bit, what I've done, just move that. As you can see, there's your positive and negative, and there's your positive, negative, and your earth. I just want to tuck it over there a little bit, and it just goes to the switch and through the fuse, comes through the fuse, through there, back to your appliance, and it's just over the switch. So what I'm going to do now is feed this through that. Just like so, and it just fits in, should fit in, perfect. This thing was printed out on, from Thingiverse, and I'll leave the description below. There's plenty of different ones, I just picked the first one, and that's it really. All I need to do now is wire these back to where they came from, plug that in, and it should work. All the contacts, plenty of space between the contacts. It's a little bit, what I'm going to do is, before I do that, is just run a little bit of hot glue just along this edge to keep it pushed up against that edge. So I can still take it out, but a bit of glue just to keep it pushed up there so it doesn't move around. And now you switch. Yeah, sweet. So I'll wire that up. You don't want to see me wiring that up, it's just 3 screws, and then I'll attach it with the bolts somewhere here, it looks like. And I need to tie these wires up as well, which is going to be another time, because I need to put a cowling for this on, and I'll tie these wires up later on. Okay. And guys, as you can see, it's finished. It's all wired in. All it needs to do now is plug it in. There's a switch working. Plug it in, try it, and then I'm gonna, like I said, I want to put some zigzags on here to make it look like a danger thing, and then I'll print out an orange cover for this fan. Tidy these wires up at the back, and I'm getting pretty close to, I think, finishing the build. I mean, I don't think it's a great deal, so what I'm going to do now is look for a cable, power cable, to fit that, which I've got somewhere, and then we'll try that. Okay, right guys, I've put a cable in. Took me a while to find one. Spare computer cable, as you can see. It's all plugged in. It is turned off. I'll switch it on now. There you go. All working away there, lovely. There's the power supply working. Turn it off. Dink. Fan. Sweet. So I've got a bit more things to do. Just like say, I'm gonna cover all this part up. Just leave a little bit here. Yeah, a little bit there, or maybe even at the bottom, so it draws air in at the bottom and pushes air out at the top, and just seal all these holes and just make a lot nicer job. So that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'm also running, which I forgot to mention, I'm running Skynet now, so I'm also using a glass bed, which is fantastic, a lot better. A few things I've printed out, that's new. I think they're new, can't remember what I've told you about them. I think that's about it. I've got, oh yeah, and I moved the MOSFETs, can't really see, sorry about it, I can't see. Moved the MOSFETs so they're all at the top. That's it guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, really appreciate it guys, thanks a lot.